Our communities and businesses must continue to be mindful about the activities we engage in and how those actions affect others. Thankfully, to this collective mindset of doing what is best for our community, the number of virus cases on Hawaii Island continues to remain low. We appreciate the support of our county and state government's efforts to stop the spread of COVID, but we need them to act quickly to provide relief to our businesses so that really they can stay in business. Too many are just a hair away from a complete shutdown, if not shut down already. We all need to do our part to help our businesses stay in business and keep our friends and neighbors employed by buying their products and their services. I'd like you all to meet a very familiar face to locals and visitors alike. She's the owner and manager of Ken's House of Pancakes and Pan's Restaurant here in Hilo. Please meet Debbie Ching-Maiava. Hey, Debbie.
Right. Thank you. Privileged to be here today with you all. I've had Ken's House of Pancakes for 30 years and the Ponds for 11 years. Ken's turns 50 years next year, God willing. We were the only 24-hour restaurant on the east side of Hawaii, and now we're only open from 6 in the morning to 9 at night. That's a drastic change for us and for the community. When COVID hit, we shut down for 3 months, and when we opened, it was a task to get workers back. Some of them wanted to wait out the unemployment. We went from 64 employees to 43 at Ken's and from 32 to 25 at Ponds. Our sales have dropped from 62% at Ken's and 47% at Ponds. Business is directly related to the rise in COVID cases. We might see a flurry of people on weekends and mornings, but as people watch the 6 o'clock news, then it gets very quiet for the next few days. So we know it's relative to the newscast for COVID cases rising. We're doing all we can for sanitizing and trying to make people feel safe. And actually that was one of our first hurrah when we got an email from a customer saying, felt safe. Those 2 words made me very happy. What we're going to do now, I think, is a long waiting game. I don't have any ideas of how we will hang on because I don't know how long we have to hang on. So right now for me, I think this time is frighteningly fluid, and just not being able to know how to prepare for what is the biggest challenge for me day to day. Thank you very much.
And for us here with our membership, obviously we've got these large resort communities, and these resort communities not only have hotels, which of course are not open right now and employ a big bulk of the people here in our community, but they're also, they have homes, and we have homeowners in these areas, and they're concerned about people coming in that aren't adhering to quarantines. These resort communities also have shopping centers. We have members that are not only tenants with restaurants and retail in those shopping centers that are basically closed down, but we have a really large concern with our commercial landlords who are struggling because their tenants are not able to pay rent. And so there's all that, their businesses, they may have done PPP, they might have done the economic injury disaster loans, but a lot of our members have also said that their economic their EIDL loans, the economic injury loans, were capped at $150,000 when they were supposed to be up to $2 million. And so we also have tour companies. We have ocean recreation tourism is a very large part of our economy here. The Kona coast is gorgeous out in the ocean. We've got companies that have been in business like Ken's Pancake House, where they're on their 40 to 50 years here in our community, and they don't have customers, and they're struggling, and their employees are not able to come to work because there is no customer base, and after today, or after yesterday, without the plus up, our community is going to really be hurting. So one of the things that I would like to see is, I would like to see that our state government do help the unemployment plus up. And we just found out that one of the line item vetoes that governor did on Thursday was to take away that extra $100, let alone the extra $600. That's $2,400 that people aren't going to get each month, and that's a lot. And so I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that the U.S. Congress hurry up and get the next stimulus package passed, so that it takes time for the money to actually get into the businesses and to the communities. So that is extremely important right now. And yes, we do agree, safety comes first for all of our communities, and we are very proud, especially here on our island, with the way that our community has been very compliant and the low case numbers. But for all that sacrifice, we want to be able to bring our customers back. And so we want the plans in place. Just like Mark mentioned, we need those plans in place so that our industry, our visitor industry, can communicate those plans to their customers, and we can get people here safely so that our businesses can survive.
Every pivot that we make and every pivot that we attempt to help our customers make, there are controls. I mean, there are things happening to us and our customers and all of us that are completely out of control and really truly feel like not based on real data and knee-jerk reactions. So what's happened is we've stopped hiring, we've stopped capital improvements, we've stopped capital expansions. At the same time, because truly our customers are our partners, when they couldn't pay anymore, we absorbed temporarily the AR blockage, and we worked out payment terms with them because we're not going to leave them high and dry. But you can imagine what that did for our books. And so we are in a crisis, like all of you. Just because we're 107 years old, just because we have over 300 employees, we're feeling it just like everybody else. And we are very, very incentivized to do whatever we can to help local government and everyone here take action based on real data. I myself have been going out since June 5th. I'm careful, I'm not fearful. I want to understand the real data, have real leadership. And if we don't have the answers and our government doesn't have the answers, then we have lots of other winners to look at. New Zealand, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, other states. You know, a function of good leadership is knowing when you don't know something, being humble, being vulnerable, being authentic, and not making decisions in a vacuum. So what are we doing right now? We're really focused on obviously our survival, because we will survive. Russell said, the ship ain't going down under my watch. And I know we all feel that way about our businesses, right? So we're going to survive. And we're going to help our customers survive. But it's so ambiguous. What does the future hold? Because I mentioned every pivot that we make, it seems some blockage comes to us. We need to get back to work. Our kids need to go back to school. Tourism needs to open back up. But we need to be careful, not fearful. And I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm imploring all of us and our leadership, local and state, to use real data, stop having knee-jerk reactions. And if you don't know, then let's get together and talk about it and bring the people who do know into the same room. Thank you, everybody.